Hello, Manchester United fans. The transfer window is now entering a very important stage, and things are starting to heat up around Old Trafford. After Manchester United conceded 4 goals against AC Milan, one question became even louder. Does Michael Carrick still need more players? And the answer appears to be yes. Carrick has made it clear that even though Manchester United have already strengthened the squad, he still wants more options before the transfer window closes. Today, we are going to look at the latest Manchester United transfer news. The midfield situation. The need for another left-back. The latest names linked with United. Carlos Baleba. Eduardo Camavinga. And also the future of players such as Marcus Rashford and Joshua Zirkzee. And later in the video, we will answer one important question. If Manchester United can't sign only one more player, which position should come first? So make sure you stay with us until the end. And before we continue, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with other Manchester United fans. Every subscription, like, and share gives us more motivation to keep bringing you Manchester United news, transfer updates, rumors, and analysis every day. Let us start with the biggest issue. Midfield. Manchester United have already added quality in that area, but Carrick still appears to want another option. And after the Milan game, you can understand why. The problem was not only the defense. The problem started before the ball even reached the defenders. Whenever United lost possession, there was too much space between midfield and the backline. Milan were able to attack those spaces quickly. And once they broke through the first line of pressure, United looked vulnerable. That is exactly why another midfielder could be so important. United do not simply need a player who can pass the ball. They need someone who can defend space. Someone who can win challenges. Someone who can stop counterattacks. Someone who can help protect the defenders when possession is lost. One name that continues to be linked with Manchester United is Carlos Baleba. Baleba has many of the qualities United appear to need. He is strong. He has energy. He can cover ground quickly. He can carry the ball forward. And he can also help the team in transition. That makes him a very interesting option for Carrick. But there is one major problem. The deal could be expensive. And Manchester United are unlikely to want another huge transfer that takes up almost the entire remaining budget. So even if United really like Baleba, the price will be very important. There is also competition. Other Premier League clubs have been linked with him as well. So if United decide that Baleba is their #1 midfield target, they may have to move quickly. Then we have Eduardo Camavinga. This is the name that will excite a lot of Manchester United supporters. Camavinga is an elite-level midfielder. He can defend. He can carry the ball. He can play under pressure. And he can cover more than one position. From a football point of view, he would make a lot of sense for United. But this is where we need to separate interest from reality. Being interested in Camavinga does not mean Manchester United are close to signing him. The biggest obstacle is the player himself. Camavinga still appears willing to fight for his place at Real Madrid. So at the moment, this should still be treated as a difficult transfer. A very attractive transfer, but a difficult one. Other midfield names have also been mentioned. But the key issue is not which player has the biggest reputation. The key issue is which player can improve the balance of the team immediately. Manchester United already have players who can create. They already have players who can carry the ball. What they still need is someone who can help control the game when things become chaotic. A midfielder who understands defensive positioning. A player who can slow down counterattacks. And someone who can give the backline more protection. That is why I believe midfield is still the most important area for Carrick. Now let us move to left back. This is another position that cannot be ignored. Luke Shaw remains an important player. But Manchester United cannot expect him to play every game across an entire season. United have domestic competitions. They have European football. And they need depth, especially in a position that requires so much running. This is why another left-back has become a serious talking point. Lewis Hall is one of the most interesting names. He is young. He already understands Premier League football. He is technically good. And he has the energy to play both ways. He would also give United a long-term solution on the left side. But Newcastle would not want to lose an important player easily. So once again, the price could become a major problem. Another option that has been mentioned is Anthony Robinson. Robinson would offer something different. He has Premier League experience. He has pace. He can get forward. And he could be ready to play immediately without needing a long adaptation period. He may not be the same long-term investment as a younger player like Hall. But if Carrick wants someone who can immediately share the workload with Luke Shaw, Robinson would make sense. Now we move to centre-back. Kim Min-jae is another name that has been linked with Manchester United. This is an interesting rumor. Kim is powerful, experienced, aggressive, and already understands high-level European football. But at the moment, there is still a big difference between being linked with Manchester United and being close to joining Manchester United. There is no reason to say this deal is advanced. So this is one to watch rather than one to expect immediately. And here is something important. Even if Manchester United sign another centre-back, it will not completely solve the defensive problem if midfield remains open. If opponents can run directly at the back for again and again, even very good defenders will struggle. That is why I keep coming back to the same point. The structure in front of the defense has to improve. Now let us talk about the attack. Victor Osimhen is one of the biggest names that has appeared in Manchester United transfer stories. And of course, you can understand why. Osimhen has pace, power, movement, and goals. If Manchester United added a striker like him, the attack would immediately look more dangerous. But this would also be a major financial decision. And Carrick has already indicated that Manchester United are unlikely to spend an enormous fee on one player this summer. So unless the structure of the deal changes dramatically, or United sell players first, a huge move for Osimhen would be difficult. Other striker options have also been mentioned. Liam Delap, Nicolo Trusoldi, and Igor Mladenovic. These names may be less glamorous than Osimhen, but they could make more sense financially. And sometimes, that is exactly what a club needs. Not the biggest name, but the right profile. However, the attacking situation is also connected to player sales. And that brings us to Joshua Zirkzee and Marcus Rashford. Zirkzee is still one of the players whose future has been discussed. If Manchester United receive a strong offer and decide to sell, that could create more room in the budget for another signing. But United will also need to think carefully. Because selling a forward means they may have to replace him immediately. Then we have Marcus Rashford. And this situation has become much more interesting. Earlier in the summer, it looked possible that Rashford could leave Manchester United. But now he is back around the squad. He's getting minutes again. And Michael Carrick has not closed the door on using him. Carrick has treated Rashford as part of the team. And that could completely change Manchester United's transfer plans. If Rashford stays, Carrick has another attacking option. He has pace. He can play from the left. He can play through the middle. And he gives United something different in transition. Harry Maguire has also spoken positively about Rashford and the value he can still bring to the team. So suddenly, instead of asking where Rashford will go, we may have to ask another question. Could Rashford get another real opportunity under Carrick? And if Rashford stays, that matters financially as well. His wages remain on the books. The squad has another attacking player. And United may then decide that midfield and left back are more important than another forward. So now we come to the big question. If Manchester United can make only one more signing before the window closes, which position should come first? For me, the answer is midfield. No hesitation. Midfield has to come first, because midfield affects everything. When United attack, midfield connects the team. When United lose the ball, midfield has to protect the defense. When opponents counterattack, midfield has to slow them down. If that first defensive line fails, the full-backs get dragged out. The center-backs get exposed. And suddenly the whole team looks vulnerable. That is exactly what we saw against Milan. So if Manchester United have money for only one player, I would sign a midfielder who can bring energy, power, positioning, and defensive discipline. It does not have to be the most expensive player. It does not have to be the biggest name. It just has to be the right fit. Second on my list would be left back, because Manchester United need reliable depth there. Third would be center back. And after that, I would look at the striker situation depending on whether Rashford or Zirkzee leaves. That is the big challenge for the Manchester United board now. The transfer window is entering the final stage. Carrick has made it clear that he still wants more. But this is not just about spending money. It is about spending money in the right areas. Manchester United have made expensive mistakes before. Big names, big fees, but not always the right fit. This time, the club has to listen carefully to what the team actually needs. Not who is trending. Not who creates the biggest headline. But who can improve the structure of the team immediately. From now until the window closes, we are likely to hear many more names. Carlos Baleba, Eduardo Camavinga, Lewis Hall, Anthony Robinson. Maybe even some surprise targets that have not yet appeared in the headlines. But remember this. Interest does not mean negotiations. Negotiations do not mean an official bid. And an official bid does not mean the deal is done. So we will keep separating the strong reports from the rumors. Now I want to hear from you. If Manchester United can sign only one more player, who would you choose? Carlos Baleba? Eduardo Camavinga? Lewis Hall? Or would you forget midfield and spend the money on a top striker like Victor Osimhen? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoy Manchester United news, transfer updates, rumors, and analysis like this, please subscribe to the channel. Please like this video and share it with other Manchester United fans. Every subscription, every like, and every share gives us more motivation to keep producing Manchester United content every day. Thank you very much for watching. See you again in the next video. Glory, glory, Man United.